Hey guys, welcome back. Jason, part-time farmer, Long Bottom Farm, and today we're talking chickens. Actually, I have no chickens, as you can see behind us, but I have all of their stuff. We sold our chickens about 3 weeks ago. Our markets have closed down, and when that happens, the amount of eggs that we sell drops significantly. For that reason, we tend to sell our chickens once market ends, take about a 4-month break, and then get pullets again in the spring. But that means we still need to clean up because the cattle are coming up here and they're going to get this area. And this is pretty much where they'll hang out for the winter. As I told you guys, during the winter, our river bank where the cattle are now, that's where we have 30 or so acres. That tends to get very boggy. And if I leave them down there all winter, by spring it will be a mud pit and yeah, just ruin the pastures. So for that reason, we bring them up. Also, it's a lot easier to do hay up here. Again, when it gets boggy down there, trying to get a tractor, I've got my truck stuck down there just on a flat land just because of mud. So we're gonna get them up here, but before that, we gotta get this area cleaned up. So we're gonna do a little cleaning today, get fencing up, move our shelters, get our feeders up, take our hoses up, and in the process, we're going to talk a little bit more about why it might make sense, and not that it'll be more profitable, but it'll keep money in your pocket by actually getting rid of some animals. All right, let's do it. We've got all this electric fencing. This stuff is great, but as you can see, weeds grow in it. I'm pulling it up. It'll actually grow down into the grass. I have to pull, I think I've got four strands of this around this paddock. So generally what I do is I go all the way around, pull it, lay it down all the way around, and then I'll start over again. In our context, this whole pasture that this netting is in is electrified. Therefore, I don't necessarily need to electrify this. It wouldn't hurt, but I've just found from experience, grass grows so much that it just, especially when I'm using 4 strands, it just grounds out. And so I use it more just for containment. It keeps the animals in. Historically, we've had dogs in here as well. Y'all probably seen our Great Pyrenees. Well, they passed on about a year and a half ago. And so I don't have dogs in here now. And we'll see come spring how that affects things. We didn't have too many problems with it this fall, but we'll see. The dogs did a great job of keeping predators away, and the electric perimeter fence that I had also did a great job. So those two things in conjunction were great. So we're gonna go around, we're gonna take all this fencing out, then we'll talk a little bit of numbers on why we got rid of the chickens. So you probably saw that little lean in it fall, and it broke. So the rest of this video is going to be without a mic. That's just part of it. Like farming, fencing fails, trees come down, animals get out, pieces of your phone mic break. We will keep on keeping on. We've gotten some of the fence up, and we'll get that up, and then we'll talk a little bit about numbers, about why it's actually more profitable or keeps more money in our pocket by getting rid of chickens during the winter. All right. All right, as you can see behind me here on the ground, we've got the fence down. Now I've just got to pick it all up, wind it up, and I want to talk to you a minute for about what prompted this decision or why we do it like this. It's not right or wrong. There's some people raise them all year, and that's great. We've done it a number of times, raised them throughout the winter. And we have just found that when our market stops, our egg sales drop significantly. And that's not to say we couldn't market more. You know, sometimes if you're not selling something, you just got to figure out how to market it. And last couple years, we have marketed it and we've increased sales, but we actually picked up wholesale accounts. And that was our way of moving eggs over the winter that we weren't selling retail. That said, it's a pretty significant discount for wholesale. And at the scale we're at, we had 200 birds. Wholesale really doesn't make sense. You know, I think you need to be, 800, 1,000, somewhere really high. It's a volume game. So you really got to move a lot of eggs, but that also means you're washing a ton of eggs. You're getting a ton of cartons to put those eggs in. You're getting labels to put on those cartons. You have to store all those eggs. So that's refrigeration. That's cost of electricity. For us, raising them over the winter isn't feasible. Before we did that, we actually raised, when we first got these 200, it was about 2 years ago, we tried to go ahead and run these guys over the winter. Even with a couple wholesale accounts, we ended up donating over 200 dozen eggs, which I don't mind donating. We try to actually, like one of our ruptured seals and stuff, we have some churches we'll give all that stuff to. They'll reach out and we'll donate. We recently worked with the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation to fund one of their dinners. We donated a bunch of short ribs, a bunch of beef to them. And so we donate, but it's one of those things where with the chickens and 200 dozen, and it's not just the loss in sales, it's the amount of feed we had to feed those chickens to produce those 200 dozen. It's also the cartons that go with those 200 dozen. And yeah. So we just figured it was not a good idea. The other thing too is getting rid of them over the winter allows us to keep our birds young, meaning they're always a year to maybe a year and a half old, and their production is really good at that point. Birds can lay 3, 4, 5, 6 years, but after that first year, year and a half, production starts to drop off. But your feed stays the same, therefore you're paying more for each egg that you get. And we found that it's better to get them during the spring. Market starts back up, we get pullets. They start laying pretty much right away, and then we have a great production throughout the spring, summer, fall, and then late fall, early winter, like now. Market ends, then we sell them. We sell the birds for a lot of times what we paid for them, $5 or $10 a bird. They go quick, and it's a good way that we're not losing any money on the birds. We're not wasting money over the winter of feeding them. And it also gives us a chance, honestly, to take a little break and to focus on more marketing strategies. Eggs take up more time than anything on the farm. More than pigs, more than cattle, more than meat birds. Eggs are just labor intensive, and it's because you have to feed them every day, just like the meat birds. You have to move them, just like the meat birds. But you have to also gather eggs. You have to wash those eggs. You have to pack those eggs into cartons. You have to store all those eggs, and then come market or whatever you're doing, you have to load all those eggs up. And it's a lot of work for, in my opinion, you do make money on them, but we might be better off not doing eggs and scaling up pigs or cattle and using the money and the time that we would spend on eggs in doing cattle and pigs. Now that said, we offer a lot of packages, and eggs they're not a loss leader. I don't really believe in loss leaders when we're at our scale. I think that works for like Costco. I believe they sell those chickens that you get in the store for like $5 a chicken at a $43 million loss per year. That's a loss leader, but it gets people into their store and they actually sell a lot more because of it. It's actually pretty brilliant from their standpoint. But for our scale, loss leaders don't really work. So eggs do make us money, but they also do bring in a lot of customers who will then buy beef, will then buy pork. We have some breakfast bundles that comes with like eggs, bacon, coffee, and sausage, and it's all bundled into a package. We sell a lot of those. Eggs are just, everybody eats them. Everybody wants them. For that reason, we're still doing it. We're still making money at it, but it's something that we've decided over the winter, no. We lose too much money, we don't make enough money, and we can use that time can be better utilized to making other enterprises better, to more marketing, and to preparing for the spring when we can then hit it hard again. And that's when we're at peak production, we're at peak sales, and it just works out a lot better for us in that context. Just want to share that with you. That's why we don't have chickens right now. We'll get more in the spring. All right, let's get this netting up. We're gonna get these things moved and get this area ready for the cattle. After we do that, I've got one more thing I want to talk to you guys about. I think you'll find it interesting, and I think you'll find that it's some knowledge that'll be very beneficial to your farm. All right, let's do this and we'll get to it. Real quick, we have a newsletter, the Sunday Solopreneur. This comes out every Sunday about 10 a.m. I talk about how to market your products on your farm, how to use social media and websites to grow your farm. I also talk about farming, raising cattle, chickens, pigs. We go through it all, and it's about building your farm business. Sign up now, and you'll also get a free PDF on how to use ChatGPT to write your social media, to write your newsletters, and to help write product descriptions for your products. This is free download for signing up for the newsletter. One newsletter every 1 to 2 weeks, no spam, I promise. Check it out. I think you'll get a lot of value in learning to grow your farm or homestead, and it's free. All right, back to the video. I want to run by you guys real quick. A lot of y'all are using netting, and most of you probably already know this, but for the ones that don't know this, this will be super helpful, is when you're doing your netting, don't wrap your sticks up into the netting. What we do is stack all of our sticks here, and then we bunch the netting up to the sticks. So roll the netting up to the sticks, and I'll show you here. There you go, roll them up to the sticks. And then tie them together. And that way, when you go to get them out, you just open the sticks, the whole thing unrolls, and then you just start walking, drop a stick, walk, drop a stick. It'll make your life much easier. If you roll those sticks up in there, it just becomes a tangled mess. So we keep the sticks separate and then roll the netting up to the sticks and then bound them up, and that's it. Another quick little thing is what's called a surgeon's knot. So just like you're tying your shoes, under once, but then do it one more time. like that. And then when you pull and pull up, it'll actually hold itself. It's like almost like somebody putting their finger there while you tie it. So just a little thing that'll help you if you're doing this by yourself. There we go. Right, we finally got this place cleaned up. Still got a big old hay bale. This is old hay bale chicken scratched through, so cows will make a bed out of that. I find cows love old hay to make bedding. We've gotten all the feeders up. Chicken house is good. Here you can see kind of some of the bare bones of our chicken house. These are cattle panels across the top here. What that is 16 foot long, 4 foot high, and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 of them in there. These make great hoops. Main thing is you just want to support them up high like this so that there's not a whole lot of hoop between outside of the supports. If you just build like a little wooden frame and support those, they will support, but if you get a lot of snow or anything, they can easily topple over, smush. So that's the main thing. You just want to make sure they're strong. Again, we'll go park this guy. I'm going to get it out of this pasture because, again, this is part of some of the pastures behind me that the cattle will have, and this gets them up off the river. And so they'll fertilize here. We'll end up putting a lot of hay down here, which does great then come springtime. We get more chickens. Cattle head back down to the river. We move the eggmobile back in here. Then we rotate the eggmobile around this pasture. Might not seem like it a lot in the videos, but I like to do things sitting down because I'm lazy. No, not lazy, I'm tired. It was a lot of work. I think it was 5 strands of fencing we took down, and you probably noticed there's no gator behind me or with me, and that's because my warning light came on, my check engine light. Started bogging weird, and I started smelling a lot of fuel, so I don't know if something in the fuel filter. Probably something I could have messed with, but then I would have spent days doing it. Likely wouldn't have figured it out, so that's one of the things. I just went in and took it to the shop. There's a John Deere place about 15-20 minutes from us. So we take it in there, they'll get it fixed. So, but it's making me have to do chores without the use of that. And man, you don't realize how much you depend on that thing until you don't have it. Other problem is the truck had some, it just needed a tune-up, needed a lot of fuel filters, oil filters, and it also had a check engine light, which turns out there were some particles in the something, and so that's being taken care of. So I'm without my truck, without my gator, and looking at a couple fairly hefty bills I'm gonna have to take care of. So we're gonna need to move some more product and try to pay for that. But that's just part of farming. If you don't take care of your stuff, it's not gonna take care of you. Both of those needed tune-ups anyways. Talking about eggs, there are some things I was gonna share with you that help us move a lot of eggs when we are doing it. And I think you'll find maybe this beneficial if you're selling eggs. One, and I already alluded to, was bundles. And again, I did a whole video a couple weeks ago about how we bundle products, and eggs are one of those. We have a breakfast bundle. It comes with coffee. We actually have a place here in Charlottesville that roasts coffee. You can see it on our website at longbottomfarm.com, but we gave it farm names like One Coffee's Black Angus. We've got the Roosters Blend. We've got On the James, because we're on the James River. Whoa Nelly, which is our decaf. These are basically, obviously no coffee beans are really grown in the US, so yes, they're imported in, but they're roasted locally here in Charlottesville. And some different blends. We get a wholesale price on those. It's got our labeling and everything on it. Our breakfast bundle includes coffee, includes bacon, includes eggs, of course, and sausage. So they just get a number of things to make a great breakfast. It's a good way to move more product than you would normally move just selling one product. Again, everybody's going to buy eggs, but there's a lot of people that will appreciate this bundle, and we do 10% off this bundle, so it's 10% off the entire thing. So that's one way to move some eggs. If you have eggs and you're trying to figure out is bundle it with some other items, and that will definitely help you. Number two, and this may cost a little bit of money, but it's a fun thing we're going to do. We haven't done this yet, but it's to, I don't know if you've ever seen Willy Wonka and the Golden Ticket they put in the candy bars. So we're gonna make a ticket or two and we're gonna actually put it in eggs. Of course people check eggs, so we're still trying to figure that logistics out so that people can't just look in the eggs and see if they're in there. But a way to have something in the carton so that if somebody gets it, they win a prize, like, I don't know, free couple pounds of ground beef or a free bundle or something small like that. Little things like that are a great way to promote your products. One, because just people love the chance to win something, to be part of a game. Two, word of mouth. You'll get a whole lot more word of mouth when you're doing things like games and giveaways and contests than you will just, you know, just trying to sell it outright. And three, it's a way to make it fun for your audience. A lot of farms don't even market. They don't send emails. They don't do a whole lot. So if you're already sending emails, you're already a huge step up. And then if you're doing things like contests and giveaways, it just puts you another rung up there. It allows your audience to interact with you. It allows your customers to interact with you. So that's another way, is just trying to either make a giveaway. You can just give away a couple dozen eggs, make a contest out of it, like I say, hide something in there. So that's something we're planning to do. We haven't done that yet, but we'll be doing that this spring. But something you can try on your farm. If you've got a lot of eggs, trying to move them, make a giveaway, make a contest out of it. And you'll get a lot more word of mouth and likely get a lot more eyeballs on your product. And then one of the last tips, and this is something that I may get some pushback on, but we don't do colored eggs. And I know a lot of farms do. And I'm not saying it's wrong. You can totally do it. We started out doing that. We had Americanas, we had the Aracanas, and they would give colored eggs. Problem with that is they don't lay anywhere near as much as your laying breeds, like your white leghorns, your golden comets, your different type of really good laying chickens. But you still have to feed them the same amount of feed. So when you look at your feed cost is pretty consistent, and you want your egg production to be high. Per egg, you're spending a lot more money to produce that egg. And that multiplies over how many eggs you're doing. And then the other compounding factor is we found we really couldn't sell them. We're selling our eggs for $6 a dozen now. Good chance we may go to $7 a dozen come this spring. And that's, you look in any grocery store, they're advertising pasture-raised eggs, and they are not pasture-raised whatsoever. They may have went outside, but I can guarantee you they are not on a pasture. They might be on a concrete, they might be in a dirt area. They likely don't even make it outside. They're charging way more than what I'm charging now for eggs. But that's really not the reason why we're going up and why we charge $6. We charge that much is because we use non-GMO feed for one, where you could typically get a bag of feed for $10, $11, $12. We're paying $18 a bag for feed. And that's non-GMO from Sunrise Feeds. I don't have any affiliation with them, but they do a great job. Pretty much everybody in this area uses them if you want to do non-GMO feed. And then there's New Country Organics. You can see them here. That's the other one. They do the organic feed. Unfortunately, we haven't been able to make that work because of the cost of the feed, but they are a great company, produce a great product. So colored eggs, you're gonna produce a lot less eggs, but you're gonna spend the same amount of money. You're gonna do the same amount of labor to get the eggs. And you just don't get as many eggs for the time and the money that you're spending. And when your margins are already pretty tight, producing eggs, it's something you really have to think about. If we're gonna do any kind of colored eggs, we tend to stick to either the white leghorns or the golden comets. Together, you get white and brown eggs. You don't have the blue, the green, the different colors like that, but they do great. And again, it's not to say if you're doing it, I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying, you know, this is in our context. What we have found when I look at my numbers and trying to be a real sustainable farm that makes enough money to actually support ourselves and our family, you have to look at those things. And I love, it's beautiful to open up a box of eggs and see the blues and, you know, everything sprinkled around. But at the same time, we just found that I can't charge anymore for those blue eggs. Customers really don't value them anymore. We just found that it's better just to raise the brown eggs. And we don't even do the white leghorns at this point, just because when we get our brown when we get our brown egg layers, we get them as pullets. And we've been getting them from the same farm now for probably 7 years, ever since we've been doing it. They don't do leghorns. And so we haven't found a place where I could actually get leghorn pullets. Sure, I could get the chicks, but then that ties up a brooder for 16 weeks or 16 to 20 weeks, however long it takes. And we just found that that's not feasible either. So we get the pullets. Pullets are chicks that are between 16 and 20 weeks old. You get them and they're already somewhat grown out. They haven't started laying yet usually, or they just started laying. It's a way to skip the whole brooder process. And for farms like us, that really helps. 2, because I only have 1 brooder, and that goes to the meat birds in the spring. Start those guys again. So those are the 3 things. We don't do colored eggs because we found that we just don't make any more money. It costs us more money to do that. Contest giveaways gets your customers and audience involved, and bundle packaging your eggs. Definitely a good way to move more eggs and move more product at the same time. That's all I got for y'all this week. If you want to see more about how we do bundle packaging, check out this video here and we'll catch you in the next one. All right, bye.